Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the People's Proletarian Petroleum Prefecture. 200 and what was it? 32, I think. Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. Cheers. It is with a bit of hesitancy I say cheers here because whilst I've mostly waited around. I'm going to pause actually. It goes completely against my principles of playing a game of this type, but I'm going to hit pause to just assess and explain the situation slightly. Whilst I've been mostly waiting really for the roads and everything to finish here on the farming island to complement our grain crops production. A problem has crept up on us here. And it's not that difficult really to foresee that this would happen. If we look at the population statistics over all time, you can say when the new town of Svennemannen was established, it sort of shot up, straight up to about 81,000 people. Yes, and what do people want? What do people need actually? Food. You know, food is the thing that they need. And my general rule of thumb is that one of these food factories is good for about 30,000 population. It might be a bit more, but a good rule of thumb that I've always gone with is 30,000. And we hit 80,000 population. Yes. So, of course then, now we have a bit of an issue and with the food. And I'm not quite certain about how we're going to solve this, since there are many issues at hand. The logistics are a complete nightmare. It's completely screwed. It's not screwed up, but it's very ad hoc. Let's call it. I notice I have now the food overlay turned on, and none of the shopping centers in Utopia have food to sell. Or to give out rather to the citizens. But here there is like a warehouse that has 164 tons of it. What is that usually used for? Utopia Small Distribution Office number 3. You unload food to orphanages. Yes, well that's good. Maybe you could supplement. I mean, just for the moment, or for the time being, you could help a bit. Maybe with the shopping centers in Utopia. Because that would use this resource, since we have 168 tons of food laying right there, and that's a bit more than the orphans are going to need for quite a while. Yes. Okay, that might help Utopia a little bit. Of course, in the long run, we're going to need to expand food production. We have no choice. and also, should we unpause maybe? The situation has been ascertained. Yes, food situation is terrible. I actually have a bit of food in the shopping centers here. For the time being, I am unpaused, goddammit. But in warehouse, no food. No food. And the simple matter of the fact is that this town is to 25,000 people, 24,000 people live here. 13,372 workers. I think what we'll do is we will not allow citizens to move into this town for the moment, since they're quite royally screwed, as they don't have a food supply. And this is the hard choice, the hard decision to make is, do we still want to bring food here? Or do we want to halt that for a little bit? It will not do well to these people. No, they will probably all starve or leave. But all they make is electronics. This is harsh. Yes, this is real harsh. But I don't know what choice we have, because... Well then, if that's the case, then it's this distribution office that no, it's this one, and it's this one that brings food down here. And Everything was going fine until that town came along. So it stands to reason if we took that out of the distribution chain, of the food chain. You see here in the People's Proletarian Petroleum Prefecture proper, the capital, even out of food in the shopping center. That's not acceptable. These people suffer enough with the pollution from the refineries and all other sorts of business here. They should not have to be without food. Do we have, what is this, for example? Here we have 233 tons of food. What is it that you do? Utopia Medium Distribution Office. You unload food here, and this one I suppose is the one that is right next doors. Yes, it is. I don't know really what this does. That also brings food to 2 orphanages. Okay. Some food place we have there, just to make it stand out a little bit. Okay, maybe you should bring food to this place too. This is not solving getting to the root of the issue in any case, shape or form, but it's doing something for the immediate thing that we have right now. That yeah, we're short on food. It's a simple matter of the thing. We're also, when the food factories are going at full, I don't think that we're supplying quite enough crops to them, because this doesn't seem like a large buffer. And this one we don't manage to get enough workers into. That's also something that we could do. Then we could get and the way it works here is that we have a bus stop here that some people walk to, and then they walk on to these. But we don't seem to be getting full on workers in them. But we take a bus. Yeah, sure, why not? We take a bus out of here. You go by there, you load workers, and you go by like the 2 food factories. A special food worker bus, not part of a line and not part of anything. Just does that. Just supplies a bit of extra workers. And we also need to bring more crops in. Yeah, I suppose I made the hard decision that you will be Svennemannanis will not be good. We're not producing enough meat neither to satisfy demand. No, but this is the food storage road cargo station where you load food. I suppose you don't. I mean, I'm terribly sorry, but I suppose you don't. Yes, it is harsh. It is harsh. A town of 25,000 will starve, more or less, or escape. We are on hard citizen reaction, so most of them will probably escape before they starve, which is some sort of comfort. Also, this town is way too large for what we need for keeping this, making 1.4 tons of electronics per workday. Also, their productivity is getting quite poor by this time. So it also makes sense a bit then to put further food production down here, as to not have all eggs in same basket and so on up there, up in Utopia and Capital Town. So we could get food made in another place, and thereby, if something bad happens here and we get into a crutch of bad productivity and everything going to hell, food production will not be completely hopeless. You see what I'm getting at? Here, for example, they're missing crops now. Not good. Not good. And I think that this is the distribution office that is supposed to bring crops to them. Yeah, you load crops. What else do you do? You unload at this place. Yeah, that is there. You can tick the crops button just to have it a bit clearer on what it is that you do. And you also unload food at the warehouse down by the harbor. This is something that you maybe shouldn't be doing. You should maybe focus on just bringing crops into the food factories. Yes, I think so. And we need to remember to replace this then later on. Yes. And you're set to load food there. Do you unload them at anywhere else? Yes, you unload it at here at the central place. And you also unload at some food place. And you unload at all sorts of places. What is all this? There you load food from the second food factory. And you load crops? Unload crops there. Yes, correct. Oh, what is it else that you do? Load food here. Yes, load food there. Load food and also unload food at the sort of central food storage, where we only have 48 tons for the time being. We should limit this one then. To bring in crops, and maybe to only bring in crops. Even. Yeah, I think so. Only bring in crops. Bring in crops for the food factories, since that seems to be a full-time job and you can't keep up. And for this, getting the food from the food factories to the central storage, we don't even need to use a distribution office for that, really. We could have do it the old-fashioned way. Dedicated trucks, maybe. The distribution offices are handy. If you cut this off, what else will... Utopia Road Cargo Station 2. You unload food at... No, you unload crops. Pardon me. And you load food and you unload... You both load and unload food here. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. No. So, some food place, you're told to unload food. I don't think that we want you doing that. And again, you load. Okay, so this maybe then we can have this distribution office bringing in crops and also bringing the finished food from these two places to here. Really? No, we want a dedicated distribution office for that. I have a dedicated distribution office on the way down here, but then again, if we're going to be bringing in food later on from Svennemannen, from the town of Svennemannen, then it would sort of make sense to bring that in on the rail, and then this is where that would end up, I think. Take the rail underneath the bridge here and have some sort of storage facility here for it. And then, yes, then this where distribution office would be needed to bring stuff from where we put that into here and into other places too. Do they have food in the capital? Yeah, they have food in the capital now. Yeah, how much food do we have in the harbor storage? A bit. Not an enormous amount. Right, we're not bringing food in there anymore. That's correct. We've stopped doing that for the time being. That could maybe be the task of this distribution office then, to bring food from the factories down to here. Yeah, that would make sense. And also bring the food from the future storage here. Comes in from Svennemannen to various places. Okay. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, this is nerve-wracking as hell. This happiness is not great, and people are probably leaving by the... Yes, we do have a bit of an escape wave and a bit of a death wave too. I am terribly sorry, people. Very much so. Yes, we'll get that built, and now that the distribution office here, we still need one more distribution office to take the food from these factories, these food factories, into this one, into the central food storage. This is completely messed up. Or not completely messed up, but it is something, is what it is. What do you do? This distribution office, you don't seem to do a whole lot. You don't seem to do like anything. You load mechanical components here and you unload them down at the harbor. Okay, well, that's good that you bring mechanical components and electrical components to the harbor so you can get them further on. Then again, since we are really in a tight spot and need a distribution office like right now, and for covered stuff, covered hull sort of stuff. Oh, it says only 30% by the way here. It shouldn't be. Maybe we can use this one to get the food from the factories to the central storage location. Yes, I did take that off the task of this, didn't I? Well, I didn't. You are currently unloading food there, but you're also loading it there, and you don't. No, you're not unloading food anywhere else. Stop loading food there, for one thing. I think this is. I sort of more or less have this under control. We buy you like a multitude of trucks in the form of covered hulls, and we'll have these since that's what it's already having here. There, and now then you bring food from there, load food, and here. How did you manage this? Utopia Medium Distribution Office. What's this? You're still doing this? I told you not. I thought you weren't doing this anymore. You're still doing this. You shouldn't be. Don't do that. Only do crops. And don't do this neither then. Yes, only do crops for the food factories. And you instead, you bring the finished food. Was this right? Yes, that's right. And this is also right? Yes, that's also right. Bring food from there to there, and then unload it at... I hope you're following along here. I'm barely myself. But see what it is I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm trying to have this distribution office dedicated to bringing crops in, so we don't have to be lacking for crops at the food factories. And now use this distribution office, then this one, yes, to bring the finished food from the two food factories into the central storage place. Okay, and from there, right. Yeah, from here, the local places such as Utopia and People's Proletarian Petroleum Prefecture proper, they get their food directly from here, I think, more or less. The shopping center and orphanages and whatever. Yes, yeah, they do. Utopia Medium Distribution Office, what do you do? That was that one that I was just screwing about with. I mean, how do you get food? This one, small distribution office number 3. Is that how you get food? No. Utopia Shopping Center. Yes, that is how you get food. Seems a little bit on the small side, maybe. What's this? Where is this? And how busy does it seem to be? It doesn't seem that busy, really. Okay, they're probably fine then. I should rename this. This is like local mat distribution. Local food distribution. Hopefully there are lots of trucks on the way here with crops now. Yes, there are. Great. And you're not that busy. I thought you'd be busy here. No food in the warehouse, but yes, there are trucks loading, which is good. And this warehouse, this distribution office will also name something fitting here. This is like a mat distribution till. It's food distribution till to distance warehouses, right? Because that's what it does. No, this is not to distant warehouses. This is to the central warehouse. It could most likely also do the distant warehouses, the ones down by the harbor. I'm confused now. Which is here, but it's a bit too much to ask. I don't dare it right now. Oh, here's a boat that wants to load food. Wouldn't you know it? We don't have that much for the time being, as it would happen. But I hope that will be. You see, yeah, it's missing crops, but with this new scheme, we have plenty of vehicles on the way with crops, and that should then most likely, hopefully, be a thing of the past, that you're out of crops. Ambulance not allowed. You know, the town of Svenemannen is doomed for the time being, and I mean, it will be resurrected. Yes. Now, was that enough then? Yes, that's enough, but it is no good. This really is no good. Does it help importing food? I mean, we could. I mean, it is a bit cruel just letting them die here, just letting them starve. Instead of cutting them off completely, we could set their distribution offices to go to. This is so damn far away. It's not going to help or work, but still, we send them to the customs house to import food. At least give them a fighting chance of getting something to survive on. Yes, that's what we'll do. It's a very long way away, though, and all sorts of other issues related there too. Other than that, yes, that's it for this time. The 24 minutes, yes, that has to be that then. I hope that we have a bit more secured the food supply somewhat around here. Only time will tell if we've actually done good stuff or bad stuff. It could be that we've only done bad stuff. More crops here, that's very good. And 357 tons of food on the boat. Yeah, we need this distribution office finished pretty soon, so that we can get food into these warehouses. So I'd imagine that another boat will be coming soon, wanting even more food. Such is it. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I will have to thank you so very much for watching. I will be back soon. Good night.